once rec stores can open and my mom can drive 3 blocks down the street, walk in, have the experience, buy the stuff, go back to her house, poke a dinger, and like just like make it as literally easy as possible, like that, like it's gonna be absolutely massive.
Hey yo, we put free money where the mic is. He got it on lock like Rikers. Green rebates get you paid, so a lot of people like us. Money Talks Podcast, watch it on all your devices. Woo!
Let's talk about, okay, so we're rolling.
Yeah.
This is the Money Talks Podcast. You were just at the booth. You had great vibes, great energy, so we wanted to bring you on. I don't know anything about what you do, so tell us why you're in Minnesota right now.
So I grew up in Minnesota, lived here. Well, I was technically born in Maryland, moved here when I was 2, grew up in Minnesota my whole life. I currently now I work in the energy sector, so I manage a utility program that's funded by Centerpoint and Xcel Energy to do audits for nonprofits. So we get dropped into churches and museums and theaters and all sorts of different types of buildings where we're figuring out what their energy consumption is, and then we're figuring out how to improve the efficiency of the building. So that comes with, call it 5 to 10 recommendations where, because we're funded by the utility, we have a really thorough understanding of the utility programs.
Right.
So if we're recommending LED, there's 2 different programs or 2 different options for Xcel customers. If we're doing boiler tune-ups and different types of rebates, there's just a different structure each time. So it's like each recommendation potentially has its own rebate structure that we need to like navigate through. So it's like I just get dropped into a church, figure out how it works, figure out what rebates are available. A lot of the times the contractor says that they're taking care of the rebates, they're not taking care of the rebates, and then we can backtrack it 24 months. So it's just like, hey, you did a 50,000 square foot addition on your church, nothing happened with any of the rebates, go in, process them. And because we're cost-free and funded by Xcel and Centerpoint, I'm no cost to provide my service. Like, I'm a salaried employee. I don't necessarily need to like pitch hard. It's like if I were in wearing the sales hat and I wanted to go sell them the HVAC units that were there, it's like there's a little less like respect, or not respect. Respect's not the right word, but like they're more comfortable because I'm funded by the utilities.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're not trying to sell them
I'm
anything
not.
besides.
Yeah, I'm not selling them snake oil.
So this is churches. These aren't like cannabis facilities. These are
No.
Okay, so you don't. So what brings you to a cannabis event?
The rebate game is the same. We're looking at energy efficiency as a whole, and this industry directly applies to it, like at a very macro level, where it's like these facilities are super complex, where you get in and it's not just, oh yeah, let's do LED. It's like, no, it's LED tuned to a specific spectrum at a certain PPFD so that you can like optimize the grow. And then there's white studies from like Philips, who's been making and manufacturing fluorescent products and originally HID products since the 1930s, where it's like you can go back and find those white papers where they're deploying specific light spectrums to like burn victims and like using it in military applications, where it's like all that R&D, they're now using it for their greenhouses in Japan, where it's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
like the whole thing interconnects, but it's like cannabis is a little taboo. It's been illegal here for so long, where it's like, I don't know, and then I can just kind of swim towards it.
Right. So when cannabis first Minnesota had a unique journey towards legalization.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Because wasn't like the first products that were legal were like low potent, like edibles or hemp, like.
Well, so the 2018 hemp farm bill passes, which opens it up to the loophole of what is it? See, it's Delta 9, but it's like whatever they backtrack to get the like edibles that aren't actually THCA. There it is. So on THCA, so there's just all this product in the market that is not actually from like a THC cannabis plant. It's from a Delta 9 back cross, so you got weird bootleg science going on.
So it's kind of like a loophole?
Yeah, super loophole on the THCA. So like you can hop on a website, order a THC cart, drop ship it to your house. Like the potencies call it 25% of what the weed would be, but people here, they just want it to be easy. It's like when stores are open, you can just walk in, buy it, walk out. That's a super easy process. But here it's like we've been like, it feels like the Stone Age where it's like, it's very interesting. But so they passed the hemp bill that like essentially laid the groundwork for how they were supposed to do like the permitting process. Because like in 2021, I got a hemp permit. I used it like to grow CBD plants because I knew that the structure was the same and that like if I were to work in this industry, nobody would want to hear my opinion if I don't know anything about the plant. It's like, okay, who's the light bulb nerd? It's like, okay, but I do know a little bit more than that. So like I started to grow, but I wanted to see it outside. I wanted to know like if I just throw beans outside in fertile soil in Minnesota where we're basically the most nutrient-rich soil in the country, it's like, all right, throw it down. They grow. And my buddy has a 1,000-acre farm in southwest Minnesota. So I asked him, I'm like, do you think your mom would want to grow a couple CBD plants? And he just goes, yeah, she's down. I got 100 pack of seeds from Trilogen. I got Purple Cowboy, sent his mom 10. She puts them out in the field. They get sprayed by a crop duster, so 2 of them are a little stunted. 2 of them die, but they have 4 total. His sister finds it interesting that every time she waters these, they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, so like the normal, like they could have just let the rain take care of it, and that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. Is they're going to throw them out, they're not going to water them, they'll just grow and they'll get as big as
As big
as the rain lets them. Where it's like that's a good ballpark of like, all right, if I do nothing, throw this out, might get QP on it. Or like I've done it and gotten an ounce, where it's like, all right, fine, but. So sister's just spraying these, probably every day. Got like, and like, granted, they're like when they actually cut them down, plants are set like more than my wingspan, taller than I am. Where it's like each plant's got to be 1 pound to 2 pounds. Where it's like they got them hang dried in their pole barn. They have a close relationship with the sheriff because it's a town of like 300 people with one stoplight and. The sheriff comes over, they got the plants hanging. My buddy's dad is like shitting bricks because it's like, granted, it's CBD and it's all permitted properly and everything's in place, but he's like concerned that the cop's gonna bust in set marijuana. Yeah. It's like, it's CBD, it's legal.
It's not, yeah.
But I was like just seeing those plants get that big because I'd never seen a cultivation facility. It's like I knew that there were companies around here that were growing.
How big did they get? Like, how many feet?
7 feet tall, 7 wide. So it's like, yeah, it's just big.
So it's like Shaquille O'Neal standing up and Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, wide. Where it's like, damn.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Where it's like, all right, what do we do with it now? I don't know. Just like throw them behind the pole. And it's like, I literally, like, I trimmed like, I don't know, a half ounce of top nugs off of it, where it's like still, I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine like having to trim this. It's like, because their farm has the infrastructure where it's like if we wanted to grow weed there, it's like they have an empty pole barn that's 40 by 60 that just houses like old tractors and shit that like they don't use. So I, like mentally I was like thinking way bigger than like my britches. It's like, okay, yeah, so we grow a full acre of CBD, and then we harvest it, and we put it in the blue shed, and then we package it and get it, and it's like, oh my God. After I realized, like, okay, yeah, 1 plant outdoor, watered 2 or 3 times a week, you're going to pull a pound per plant. Yeah. Like, not super difficult.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just...
So you're here because you're a consumer.
Yeah.
But also... you're an energy expert.
Yeah.
You work in the energy field.
Yes.
Do you ever see yourself... Well, first of all, like, and you're very familiar with rebates. Like, you were talking about rebates before I was going to ask you about
I've been doing rebates since 2014.
Wow.
Like, so my first job out of college, I got hired by a program that was also funded by XL and Centerpoint. So it was like, first job, we're going through multifamily properties and doing the same recommendations where... go into the building, figure out how it works, make the recs. If they install a new boiler, process the rebate for it. So it's like, I'm like processing rebates. And then I take a job selling light bulbs. Selling the light bulbs, there's a rebate there. And now I manage a different program where rebate games. So it's like, and it's funny hearing it now viewed as like, some people say that the rebates are so complicated that like you need a specialist to do it, and that it's almost like taxes, where it's like taxes were originally simple, and then they got to the point where it was too complicated for the average like employed person to figure out the tax code. So then you hire a tax accountant, and it's like, it's the same mindset of like, okay, you need to do a custom controls project for a brand new facility. You need like the TRM baseline of what that type of facility would use if it were standard efficiency, and then the rebate is based on what the high efficiency versions of that equipment is. So it's like, all right, you know how to do that? I was like, all right, it took a while, but yeah.
Have you ever thought about working in cannabis, like using your knowledge?
I've been patiently waiting until the rec comes online. Because like, so right now, the companies that are producing cannabis are Green Goods and then Vireo Health. And so between those two organizations, that's just two people. It's like they've got football field-sized greenhouses down in Cottage Grove, where it's like, all right, how do I work with them? But like, they're a difficult client to like maneuver to the top. So you got to get to the top person. You have to show them value. Cannabis is kind of closed, where it's like very close knit, where like I'm just coming out of the woodwork. Whereas like, granted, I can make a cold call, but my cold call base is those two organizations. So I'm not going to call them each once a week. I mean, I could if I really wanted to be annoying, but like, I've been waiting for the rec to come online, where it's like once rec comes online, you know who the producers are, because there's so many microbreweries around here that this is going to be the same thing, where it's like, okay, we have 100 new grow facilities. That's 100 potential clients to provide energy efficiency services for. It's like what I do for like, I process rebates, and we do tax allocation studies, and we do utility bill audits. So like on the nonprofit side, it's a 50-50 shot of whether or not my clients are paying taxes on their utility bill.
When clients first find out about rebates, what's their like first reaction? Do they say, there's no way this is real? There's no way these lights are being taken care of? There's no way I can actually get free money?
For the most part, because our energy efficiency industry and sector has been full of really good rebates for a long time. So like most facilities managers that like are in like manufacturing, they're aware that rebates exist. They might not completely understand the structure. They just know that rebates should be available for certain equipment that I buy. And then they'll kind of lob it that way, where it just like depends.
Right. They're kind of aware.
Well, like, and specifically like for the lighting industry, it's like the Center for Energy and Environment has had lighting rebates available since the early 90s. So like they offered rebates when you would retrofit T12 fixtures to T8 fixtures, and then T8 to T5, and then T5 to 6 lamp 4-foot LED tubes, and then like, so that whole trajectory took from basically 1990 until right about now, where most of the tube retrofit market is saturated, where it's like, okay, you can go from a 15-watt LED tube down to a 10-watt LED tube, and there's a rebate. But for the last 30 years, that rebate from CE has been 30% of the project cost. So it's like you go in, you count the bulbs, you figure out what the project cost is, you dish it to CE, they spit you back a custom rebate, and then you have the custom rebate that you can add onto your proposal. So you have a line item that has the project cost, you have a line item that says rebate dollar value, and like during COVID, they released a bonus rebate. So call it summer of 2020, before things got real, XL released a bonus rebate to double their tube rebate. So it went from $3 to $6. Whole country gets shut down.
Jesus.
So a lot less projects. That rebate funding, they doubled it. So somewhere in XL's budget, they moved, I don't know, call it $5, $10, $15 million, whatever the dollar value is, they moved it, they shifted it, and then it didn't get used.
Damn.
So now they're providing free direct install projects, where it's like, if you're an eligible client in certain areas, you can get a project for $0. So like the Basilica of St. Mary, they've got a Montessori attached to it, so a church school. The school has 1,000 tubes, 1,000 4-foot fluorescent tubes across the whole building. I connected them to CEE. I connected them to a lighting contractor. Lighting contractor gets the inventory, prices out the project, sends it to CEE. CEE green lights it, gives them a $34,000 project for $0. The rebate covers the entire cost of the project. So here it's the Basilica. It's like, all right, sweet. Normally, like I drive past that building every day going to the office, whereas like it took like 6 weeks for us to finally get approval on it. But now approval, bink, here you go. Free project.
How did they? I have a lot of questions. I mean, I feel like you know more about rebates than we do. You should work for us.
Yeah, it may happen.
Yeah, let's make this happen.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Dylan.
cut that. I don't know what of the content I've discussed so far.
Trust me, I've got ideas. I already have it in my head. But you
well, I'm
as
saying cut out anything that's close to me smoking weed and General Mills and Medtronic.
Well, I just want to know about the consumer, like the market in Minneapolis, like since it's gone legal, or just in general, are the consumers' needs being met? The cannabis consumers' needs.
Yes.
People are happy.
Yeah. So I have a buddy that was growing out in Oregon. Now he lives in Otter Tail County, so he's 3 hours north of here. Like, I don't have a problem getting bud. I also grow myself, so it's like I can grow enough in a 2x4 tent that I can cover my spread and then any of my buddies. So it's like if any of my close friends need bud, I can take care of it. Where I'm like, when I was in college, we would get bud from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So we had buddies that were growing up there. So they would, like, I had a roommate. He would go up. He'd get a QP. He'd come back. We'd have bud for the semester. Whereas, like awesome. And like, they legalized, and now their black market prices are significantly better than what you would get in a dispensary. So you can get an ounce for $180. It's grown indoors in organic living soil where, like, you know that it's top shelf weed grown from the black market industry that was there prior to it being legalized. So like,
so more people are buying weed from the black market than not right now, or is it
here for sure? Well, we still don't have, you can't just walk into a store and buy it yet. It's like there's still, like, the permitting process hasn't completely gotten there. It's like you can go to Island Pezzy and walk in there, but if you go on their website, the percentage of THC on their flower is 13%. That's the top. So and their line is out the door, so they're going through all the product that they create. They have oil, so you can get concentrates, but the concentrates sell out immediately. And it's like there's just such a massive demand that it's like once rec stores can open and my mom can drive 3 blocks down the street, walk in, have the experience, buy the stuff, go back to her house, poke a dinger, and like just like make it as literally easy as possible. Like that, like it's gonna be absolutely massive. It's like because the brewery market like popped off here in, call it like mid 2000s, where it's like, or like 2010. So like, I don't know how many breweries there are. There's got to be 50 to 100 if you search breweries just like on Google Maps in the metro area, where it's like that same thing is going to happen with cannabis facilities. And it's probably happening now. I know that some people have their permits to grow. I know that a bunch of people are upset because they disallowed certain demographics of people to use the early bird like pitch or whatever it is. That was a bad job explaining.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you though.
Yeah, like the compliance aspect of filing and submitting the paperwork to get your permits and like get your mezzo business license. They opened it to essentially like DEI, and like people that had prior convictions were allowed to have a first shot at getting a permit.
Nice.
They only accepted a certain number of those, and the people that didn't get accepted were really loud about it. So then they started writing articles about it. So instead of writing articles on the people that actually were awarded the permits, they just wrote it on the people that didn't get it. So it's like, all right, well, who got them? Yeah. Like, can I go like provide my energy management services to those organizations? And once they just like are open, it's like once they have the permit and they're good to go and it works,
Well, there's a lot of, I've heard there's a lot of growers just kind of waiting around to get approved, right?
Yeah.
Who like have the facilities, everything ready to go. They just don't have the license.
Yeah, where they have a hydro shop, they have everything set up, they're waiting to for the permitting process to fall, and then they just immediately have, call it 20,000 square feet of canopy, where it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. Interesting. So, last question I got for you. Thanks so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah,
You've
no
been
problem.
A great
How
sport.
long have we gone?
You're a soundbite machine. I'm telling you. We've got clips, and you're going to be like, actually, can you take that down?
Run it past me first, please.
No, we got you. But where do you see? Because you're the expert on. You grew up, born and raised Minneapolis, Minnesota area.
I was born in Maryland. But
Maryland, okay, but you've
East
been
Coast
here.
asshole in me. But
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, because you're kind of a good combination
yeah,
of like
dad's
the East
from
Coast.
Boston. Yeah, parents live in Boston. Yeah, so the smack talk comes in a Boston accent sometimes.
Right, you're like Minnesota nice meets Boston asshole.
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah,
marriage.
where I can play it.
Yeah. So
It's fun.
where do you see cannabis going like 10 years from now in Minneapolis?
Dude, it's crazy to see that in like California and Oregon, they just have bars where people walk in and they have a fancy Grav Lab like bong where you just hit it in public. People are just ripping dabs. It's like, that's crazy to me. And like, that's where it'll be in, I don't know, 2-3 years, where you can just like walk into a bar, go to a hookah shop, put a little bit of hash in there. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's just gonna be super cool. It's like we've been illegal for so long, and other states have been legal, where it's like every time I go to Colorado, there's always a stop where you're going to a dispensary. And like a while ago, it was the first thing I would do. I was like, okay, let me get an ounce and then go figure it out. And then I went out to Montana this last summer. Fantastic experience. Their weed's super good. Like everything's just top shelf. The process is super clean, and it's like we'll get to a point here where you just walk into the store, you buy what you need, you keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, and it seems like a lot of people, like the energy that I'm getting is people are just in that waiting.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot of anticipation.
Just waiting. Yeah.
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 But Minnesota people are very nice, welcoming. I don't know if it's fake nice or real nice. But
No,
you
it's
seem like a real nice
Yeah,
guy.
it's real nice. Like you'll see it in passive aggressiveness sometimes, where like they're never gonna like call you out on it, but you might like get an eyebrow raise if you say something.
Yeah. That's it's better than LA. LA has mastered fake nice so much that like you really don't know. Like someone saying, "Oh yeah," they'll talk behind your back, and that's just the Hollywood scene. You kind of have to be fake to get by in LA. But hey, man, let's do the Minnesota accent thing, and we can cut this into a different clip.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, we'll just end. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for hopping on with me.
Yeah, no problem. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.